Are you thinking of getting from Bangkok to Koh Samui without breaking the bank? Well, you're in the right place. In today's vlog, I'm taking you through every step of the journey. All the transport options, how long it takes, how much it costs, and whether it's actually worth it. It's going to be a long day, so let's dive in. Good evening and hello from Bangkok. In today's vlog, we're going to be heading over to Koh Samui Island. So there's going to be 4 modes of transport which we are taking, starting off with a sleeper train. So we're currently here in the Krung Thep Afiwat train station in Bangkok, and we'll be heading over to Surat, Thani, which is the train station, and we'll be arriving there around 6 AM, so it's going to be a pretty early start. Then we'll get a bus over to the port, which will then get a ferry over to Koh Samui Island, and then a taxi to our hotel. Then I'll show you around the hotel, and we'll see how much time we got left, whether I can show you a little bit of the island too. But right now, we need to head inside. We've got our train tickets ready, and we'll be getting on a sleeper train very shortly. So we have actually taken a sleeper train before from Bangkok up to Chiang Mai. So it's going to be the same experience again. We're on second class. However, Beth and I have not got our own section. So we're going to be sharing with someone else, but just across from each other on the top bunk. But this is the station. So the food court is over there, and we're going to be heading towards the platform right now because our train is currently on time, which is good news. So we booked the express train number 85, and it was on the Thai Rail website, so I'll leave a link to that in the description below. It only cost us £33 altogether for the both of us. However, we have got the top bunks, so they're slightly cheaper than the bottom bunks. We were in second class with air conditioning. However, you can get first class where you do actually get your own cabin. But obviously, as we're on a budget, that is going to be slightly more expensive. There is actually third class too, but I wouldn't want to be on there as it is seating, so you don't actually get to lie down and sleep overnight. And I don't believe there's air conditioning either, so I guess it's getting pretty warm there, especially as it's like 30 degrees outside right now. But now we're just going to wait for our train here in the waiting area, and then later on from platform E, which is over there, we'll be boarding. But just as a heads up before we get on, they have got the food court, which is here on entrance with loads of seating and places where you can grab some food. They obviously have the ticket machines and ATMs too if you need to withdraw any money, and then there's an information desk just on entrance if you need any help with like being pointed in the direction to the platform. But that's the entrance there, and now we're going to be heading into here, which is where platform E is, which is the platform that we're getting for Koh Samui. So as you come through the doors, there is actually some food stands just here on the left. They look a bit closed right now, but there's also lock boxes for your luggage. So if you do want to leave your luggage there for the day, you can do. And then as you take a couple more steps, you'll see there's like a Dunkin' Donuts place over there. You got a few bakery places. There's a Coke stand, I believe, just around that corner too. But where we're going to be waiting is in this waiting area here, where they've got a few more shops, like a souvenir shop there, and a supermarket just a little bit further down, which is a little bit like a 7-Eleven. So we've been watching everyone board at gate E, and we've just noticed it's actually 9 minutes until it goes, but the queue is now really low, so it does queue up for quite a bit here. But we waited because we knew after last time that you can just wait, and you've already obviously got your seats reserved, so there's no need to worry about that. So we are actually cart number 13, and I am seat number 37, and Beth's seat number 39, and then we've obviously got another random guy and girl on our table with us, so hopefully they won't turn up and we'll have our own table, but they probably will, so we'll have to see, because it's fully booked, the train, so you have to book in advance. That's something big to notice too as well. You have to book at least like 45 days in advance if you want the first class, I'd say, and second class maybe like 20, 30, because it just books up so quickly. So that, I believe, is the restaurant, which you can see through the window just there. And what's horrible now is that we're passing the first class bunk beds too, so they look really nice. So maybe we should have gone for them, but we've had to have booked a lot earlier. One thing we have noticed is that the train is definitely not as nice as the other train was, so it looks a lot more cramped, not quite as clean, tidy and as modern as the previous one, but you'll see in just a second what it's like. So it's definitely not as nice as the one that we went on previously. It just feels a little bit dirty compared to the other one, so I'll show you what it looks like from the seat. So you get these little drinks holders where we got given a drink of water last time, but unfortunately we don't this time. There's not too much space for the bags. We are on the end, which I believe could be why, but then once the beds are all made, they'll be able to go under down here. and then that is the rest of the train. So you've actually got a fan up there, but it is air-conned anyway. There's storage up there for like bags and other things like that. And then there's obviously lots of different pods for different people. But we've been quite lucky really, because the people that are below us are both sat together. So hopefully we'll be top and bottom, but if they want to go on both the bottom, then that's fine. But right now we're able to sit opposite each other. So the sink area again definitely does not look as nice as the last one. However, at least there are sinks to clean your teeth. And the bathroom is better than a hole in the ground, to be fair, but it is still pretty grim. It's got a little bidet there, and then a very small sink. So I'd probably wash my hands outside of here. It's got a little window as well, so you can peer out whilst you're having a wee. So the beds are now made. So you've got the curtains here, which you can pull across, and they say bye to Beth. Beth's over there on the other side, and a fan in the centre. But they're much thinner than the previous bed that we had on the last one. But down at the bottom bunk, they actually get it a lot wider than they do the top bunk. But there is a little bit of storage up there, so I put my shoes up there. But yeah, this might be quite difficult to sleep on here. I'm not too sure, and it's not very high either. So if I'm sat up straight, my head's basically up against the roof, which isn't ideal. You definitely would have thought they'd had a barrier or something instead of just these two seat belts, which are basically holding us from falling down to the bottom. Unfortunately, there's no plug socket either, so I can't charge anything, but there is this little net thing. There's like a pocket, I suppose, to put something in. And then you've also got a reading light. You've not got a reading light by the looks of it, because that does not turn off or on. Great news. One other thing we've noticed is that there's no windows, so we can't see whether it's our stop or not. And also there's not that much leg room, so I'm 5'11", and I can barely even squeeze in here. So if you're above 6 foot, there's no chance. You're gonna have to curl up like a ball. They've also got a very bright light which sort of peers through the curtains, which isn't ideal, so I hope they do turn those off. Otherwise I don't think I'm going to be getting a very good night's sleep. But we have been sat here for about an hour now, so it's delayed by about an hour, but we don't know whether they actually account for this or not, so we'll have to see what time it is when we arrive. And we've arrived at Surat, Thani, and I had quite a good sleep, to be fair, apart from, for some reason, at 6 AM, the two people below us decided to speak as loudly as they could on the phone. So that was really, really frustrating, because that woke us up. Oh God, that's a horrible noise behind us. The train's just here, about to depart for the next stop. But we've arrived 3.5 hours delayed, which is probably a good thing really, because it meant that we could sleep a little bit longer than we wanted to, but it does mean that we are delayed for the bus and the ferry. But thankfully with our ticket you can basically get any of the buses or ferries with the same company. We don't know how often they run, but we'll have to see once we get out the train station. So we're now waiting for the Fantip bus to take us from here to the port, to take us to Koh Samui, but we don't really know what's going on at the moment, don't know how long it's going to be or anything, but there's a few people still waiting here, so we'll just wait. We basically waited for half an hour for another train to arrive, and now another load of people are here, and we've been sent across to this bus. But it's annoying because all the people that have just got off the train got sent there first, so they're going to get all the good seats. Hopefully Beth and I are not split up. At least it's quite a nice bus, and it's well air conditioned, and there's plenty of seats too. So it's now 10 to 1, so it took us about 1.5 to 2 hours to get to Don Sak Pier, and we're boarding straight away at gate 1, so we're just making our way over right now. Ticket scanned and we are through, heading our way towards the boat. So it costs around £20 for the ferry and the bus together, so it came sort of like a package, which is quite good, and I recommend doing that because if your train is late, then they will get another ferry and bus for you. And we are on. It's nice and air conditioned, which is good, and lots of seats free too. We departed about 10 minutes late, but it's now an hour and a half journey from here to Koh Samui Island, and then after that we've got to take a taxi to the hotel. So it's been a very long journey so far, but hopefully this boat goes smoothly. So you're getting amazing views with the blue water right now. We're looking forward to getting to the Koh Samui beach and seeing just what that is like. But it's quite cool because on the boat there's like a supermarket, it's a massage room. I actually saw the masseuse asleep just a second ago. And then there's obviously a top floor where you can sit up here with loads of benches, and then there's downstairs which is in the air conditioned room. So there's quite a lot to this boat. There's obviously toilets too if you need the loo. But yeah, we're just going to sit on here, relax and enjoy the ride. There are actually also cars and bikes and like lorries and stuff on here too. So it's a very, very busy ferry full of different things. Pretty cool actually to see all this stuff down at the bottom. We've now made our way over to the minibus here on Koh Samui Island. It actually felt like we were royalty because he had our name written down on one of the boards, which was quite funny, but it should take about 20 to 30 minutes now to get to the hotel, and I'm just looking forward to checking in and showering and getting changed. We've arrived at the second biggest island in Thailand, Koh Samui, at the Samui Zenity Hotel. So it's going to cost us £29.30 a night, but this is what we get. So we've got a little bit of outdoor space here with the table, chairs, and then also an area to put our clothes on if they're wet. Then as you come in here, we've got like a sofa and table, which Beth's already taken over of. A fan in here too, as there's no aircon, which is not ideal. And then you've got like storage space, small TV and a fridge, which is good to put our water in, and then a small table. Then as you can see, the windows go into the main room, which actually has the aircon. So in we go. Well, it's quite nice and cool in here already, which is good. Got a big bed here. Then you've got the wardrobe on this side. It's got a small safe, but that probably won't fit my laptop in, which is a little bit annoying. But it has actually got plug sockets either side of the bed, which is good news because quite a lot of them don't actually have that. And then you have the sink area just outside the bathroom, small little window which looks into sort of like the jungle area, and then the bathroom, which is probably the worst bit of our room. So it's got a wet floor there, it's got the shower up there, which doesn't look the nicest of showers to be honest, and then you've got the toilet just behind here. So that is going to be our room for the next, I think 4 nights or 5 nights. I think it's 4 nights. And then we're just going to enjoy the pool area. So let me show you the pool outside actually. That is the lobby and the kitchen area where you can make yourself some food. And then the pool on the opposite side with a water slide. Now the water slide's actually broken at the moment, but he did say if you did want to go down it, he could make it work. But yes, this is the hotel. Changed into the swimming shorts and teeth have been brushed, and it feels so nice to clean your teeth after so long, I'm not gonna lie. But in terms of the transport, would I recommend it? If you can fly and you have the money to, I would definitely say yes, because it does take a long time otherwise. The train was quite good though in the end, the fact that it was delayed, because it meant that we could sleep a little bit longer on the train, so we're not quite as tired as we usually are after a sleeper train. And then the minibus and ferry service was actually quite good, so because we were late, obviously we missed the other ferry before, but we were able to get a ferry pretty quickly after. But we're now going to head down to the pool to cool down. The room's taking quite a while to cool down too, because the aircon's just sort of like trying to spread its way around the room, so it is still quite warm in here, but hopefully by this evening it should be fine, because otherwise we're going to struggle to sleep. So we swam in the pool for about an hour and caught up with Beth's family too, and now we're heading into town. I'm going to call it town, and go to the beach too to go and check that out before we go out for our meal. But you actually get a free shuttle with this hotel into town, well, it's the beach, which is really good. They also have a gym too, so they've got like a little seat here with all the weights at the back, which is good because they don't often have that machine. Then they've got a cycling machine, a CrossFit trainer. They've got big fans in here, which is good because it's quite warm right now because there's no aircon. Then they've got the big weights, but I don't really see a bench. They've got this weird bench here. I don't know whether maybe you can make that into a flat bench, but that's a strange one. I've never seen that before. I don't know, someone will have to let me know what that bench is used for. Is it more for like sit-ups? I don't know. And then they actually have a pull-up bar too, which is quite good. There aren't any towels or water though, but you can actually get some free water that's just filtered from the reception, which is literally just next door. We're now sat in the back of the shuttle bus, and it actually comes at like 10 a.m, 1 p.m, 4 p.m, and 6 p.m. So there's quite a lot of choice of where you want to go into the beach. But here it is. So it's kind of like a tuk-tuk sort of thing. It is quite warm here, we have noticed on an evening. So we're going to be sweating, I think, a little bit more than we do in most of the other places. But it will be nice to see yet another sort of old town and see all the streets and restaurants and bars where we can try over the week. So we've just been dropped off, and it's actually right outside a night market, which looks really cool. So it's got the food stands around the outside, and then it's obviously got the seating there in the centre. It's more local sort of stuff. So you've got pizza, mango there on the right hand side. Over there I can see sweet corn, more pizza, beef. So there's plenty of options to choose from. And then straight next door to the night market is a weed store, only 99 baht per gram. But this evening for food, we're going to walk down this main road and find somewhere to eat. We have just noticed as well, there's like a Chinatown, there's also a fisherman village which is nearby, which is probably really good for seafood. And then there's also, I think it's called Maenam Pier, and that's also got loads of bars and restaurants on there too. So we're going to check that one out on one of the days. But right now we're walking down here, and it's a lot busier than we thought it was going to be on the main road. But yeah, it's that time of day now where the lighting's really good to get some nice little photos. But unfortunately we can't really see much sun for the sunset, but it is behind me right now. Food, we have come to Oh My Bowl, which is a really healthy sort of salad place because we're feeling a little bit unhealthy at the moment, as we've just had Oreos, crisps, I had some Haribos too, and that was basically all of the food we've had since yesterday getting on the train. But there's a quite nice restaurant, little cafe. We'll probably come here a few times too because they've got some really nice things on the menu. So they've got like Buddha bowls, they've got salad bowls, they've got chicken sandwiches, Mexican wraps, and so much more. So we definitely need to come back and try a few more things. But to drink, we've gone for some healthy smoothies. So mixed berry smoothie is what Beth has gone for, and the mango smoothie is what I have gone for. They actually do look really good too. We're going to try in just a second. I've also ordered a Coke just to cancel out how healthy the smoothie is. But let's give them both a try. That's good, that's very nice actually. I don't like it when they add loads of rubbish to it. Well, I say rubbish, they add like yogurt and stuff to smoothies. I'd much rather it be just plain mango blended up, and that tastes really good. That's quite nice too, the mixed berry one. Tastes a little bit more watered down than the mango one, but that does taste good. I'll show you the food once it has arrived. It should be here in about 10-15 minutes. We had a couple of things that was a little bit annoying. Beth had edamame beans on hers, but unfortunately they had run out of them, so she wasn't happy with that. And then they also almost came out and said that they didn't have avocado too, but they must have pulled one out from somewhere, so hopefully the avocado tastes good. But the food should arrive very shortly. The food has arrived and looks delicious and very colourful too. So I have got the salmon Buddha bowl, and that comes with a sesame sauce, which is just in here. And then Beth has got herself a tofu Japanese bowl. So it's basically a Japanese bowl, and she asked for tofu on the side. And then she's got another sauce there too, which is soy sauce. It looks really tasty though, so we're going to give the salmon a try to begin with. And then the rest of it, I can probably tell it's going to taste just like what it usually tastes like, but we're going to dip it into the sauce and see what we think. Salmon tastes really fresh. The sauce actually tastes really good too. So I'm definitely going to enjoy this meal. We've just finished our food, which was around 628 baht, which is about £14. So a little bit more expensive than usual, but we did have 2 smoothies, so that could potentially be why we've now been walking up and down the beach looking for a restaurant to go to on one of the other nights. I couldn't really show you the beach because it is very dark. However, here's a couple of the restaurants which we have seen, but we've just come to this restaurant now and it's got like a horrible smell. And I've just noticed, because I actually do quite a lot of work with sewage treatment works, and it looks like this is some form of treatment work, because you can see all of the grates and stuff where all the water comes into, and it's probably like screened and stuff. And then just over the top here is where the bad smell's coming from, and that's leading straight into the sea. So I hope that's cleaned at least a little bit, because that water stinks. And we're thinking of getting in the sea tomorrow, so hopefully it is clean. There is also a cool lighthouse here, which we'll have to climb up tomorrow or when we come to the beach next, so we can see whether we can get a really cool view from up there. Now walking back in the Chinatown section, they've got lots of different things. They've got massages, there's quite a few different massage places, and then a couple of bars and restaurants. There's quite a cool little house there. I don't know who lives there, but they've got all the Chinese lanterns out. And then here is another massage parlour. So if you need a massage, probably the best place to come. And we have returned to the room. So on the way back, we actually went to 7-Eleven to buy ourselves some like breakfast and snacks, and that came to 598 baht, which is just over £13, coming up towards £14. But that is going to be it for today. So I hope you all enjoyed it, and I hope it was a bit useful for people who are thinking of going from Bangkok to Koh Samui the same way that we did. I definitely recommend getting a flight though if you can afford it, because it's just so much easier and so much quicker too. But I'm going to end today's vlog here. So if you did enjoy, do make sure to smash that like button and subscribe if you are new. We've got plenty more vlogs coming out on this Southeast Asia backpacking trip, and I'll see you all in tomorrow's.